Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Aaron from penventure. Welcome to another fountain pen review. And in this one, we are checking out the new kid on the block, the latest addition to the Visconti pen family, Looking East. That's the name of the fountain pen. Let's check it out in details. The past 2 weeks were so busy, and this is why maybe I was a little bit more absent on our penventure YouTube channel, but I'm back and all of the orders from our 5th anniversary campaign were shipped out, and right now we have time to enjoy something new from Visconti. As usual with my reviews, I'm going to showcase the fountain pen, I'm going to show you some of the details of it, I'm going to show you the inspiration behind how it's built and the overall theme of the fountain pen. Then I'm going to show you a side-by-side size comparison, writing sample, and in the end we're going to conclude everything in some personal opinions. Do you think my reviews are long? Let me know in the comment section down below, because I am trying to just simply get my facts on as quickly as possible and to share all of those details with you at home watching my videos. And by that, I am super thankful. If you are watching my videos, it is not too late. If you enjoy my content, to give this video a big thumbs up. This will help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. Consider subscribing to the penventure YouTube channel, because we are a very tied up fountain pen community on this YouTube channel. Let's resume to our fountain pen, because we have a lot of things to talk about this one. I think we are one of the first companies that got their hands on such a writing instrument as we speak, and I'm very happy to be the first one to showcase a video review of it, to show you how it looks, how it feels, how it is. And this is due to us being a Visconti distributor ourselves and doing a very nice collaboration with the Visconti team. What we have here today, it's a fountain pen called Looking East. It draws inspiration from the Eastern culture, architectural things, and civilization and all of that. But Visconti is known for introducing in their fountain pen models and designs a little bit of a modern touch, to say so. And this fountain pen shows just that. Let's begin with the customer experience. It comes in a box like this one. It's having a sleeve and is the same box for the Homo sapiens demonstrator versions, and it's an amazing presentation. It's a beautiful box. Here we see the fountain pen peeking from the inside of the box through this glass window. This is real glass, and we lift the lid like this, and inside we have the Looking East securely strapped inside here, and under it we find the warranty information and all of the company details that you may want to know. And right here we have the ID card of the fountain pen, which is a limited edition. Now let's put everything back together. What it's important about this box, it's that it can be used to display proudly this fountain pen on your desk. And this is the exuberant Visconti Looking East fountain pen, an amazing writing instrument that bears so many things in regards of Visconti and the Eastern culture, architectural traits, and all of that, put up in a modern writing instrument fabricated in the Visconti workshop in Florence, Italy. Visconti is super known for carving out a design, a motif, a cutout into a metal overlay on top of the fountain pen, and inside we have a tube which is visible through this cutouts on the fountain pen, and this is exactly what we have on the Looking East. This is very present in the Visconti lineup. Let's zoom in and let's check out what is the overall details of this creation. I'm gonna start at this end right here. On the finial we have a very nice Visconti V logo on the finial. This is not detachable, so if you're looking for just simply adding personalization towards this design using the MyPen system, that is not available, because this finial right here, this V logo, it's permanently attached to the cap. Moving further, we can very nicely see this very interesting beveled edge, something that's super modern. And correct me if I'm wrong, this is a take on the fluted bezel of a Rolex, and it's even more visible on the other edges of the fountain pen. And this is a very interesting way to add a little bit more opulence, a little bit more care towards having a fluted design on the edges, because this tells me that these artisans at Visconti, they pay attention and they try to do the finishings on such a fountain pen with using a lot of care, a lot of dedication, a lot of craftsmanship and attention towards details. Let's move further and we check out this beautiful, beautiful cap. This is the cap of the fountain pen design. It's repetitive and is this square design, which it's so impressive. The entire metal body of the fountain pen is sterling silver. Underneath we can clearly see this beautiful blue black resin, which is chatoyant, and it's just like watching a night scene through a window of a pagoda. As you see through that window, you have this square pattern, and this is to just simply tie you to that culture, to that architectural identity, and I believe they did an amazing job picking up this design. All of the elements of the fountain pen are plated in rose gold color, and it is amazing. It looks beautiful. And the cap, it's going to stop right here, and like I told you, we have another very evident way of showcasing the fluted design on the edges of the cap and the beginning of the barrel right here. This is the main focal point of the fountain pen right here. It's not a hook safe lock mechanism, it's a screw to uncap. It may take a few turns to uncap this fountain pen, so this is not something that I would recommend you having at the office when you want to take a few quick notes. We are greeted by the Visconti 18 karat gold nib. This is made in-house by Visconti. It's been through an entire process of improving it in the last few years. As usual at penventure, what we receive from the manufacturer we check, and in-house we see a lot of consistency. This 18 karat gold nibs were the perfect choice for Visconti to evolve from the 23 karat palladium dream touch nibs. What we see today, it's a wonderful nib, and I cannot wait to showcase how this nib is performing in a writing sample in just a few moments. Stamped on the nib we have Visconti. The main focal point right here, we have that arched breather hole. In the middle we have the slit. Right here we have the fleur-de-lis motif, which is stamped on all of the Visconti nibs. At the bottom, 18 karat, the nib size medium in this case. This nib is available in a variety of sizes: extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and a 1.3 millimeter stub. Turning the nib like this, we can see that we do have a ABS plastic feeder. This is very consistent in offering a rich and very nice ink flow towards this nib. Both the nib and the feeder are friction fitted inside a plastic collar, and together they form the Visconti nib unit, and that nib unit is detachable using this tool, which is provided to retailers like myself. Anyway, let's move further and let's check out this very nice and ergonomic section. This is made out of metal. It's hourglass shape, and it is very ergonomic. It's very comfortable. You may think that the fingers can slip forward towards the nib, but believe me, the fountain pen is quite stable, and the fact that the section is hourglass shape, it will keep your fingers quite stable right there, preventing the slipping forward towards the nib. Right here we have the threads. Those are polished to perfection. They don't hinder the sensation of holding the fountain pen even by those threads. If you have problems in your fingers slipping forward, I believe if you hold the fountain pen by those threads, it will prevent just that. Moving further, right here we have the ink window, and this is a very nice way for a solid design fountain pen to have access and see both the color and the ink level. Right here we have a very nice engraving of the Visconti branding, the Visconti name, capping the fountain pen, you will see that the ink window starts to disappear, and the main focal of the fountain pen, it's consisted by these two beveled edges and Visconti in the middle. And this is a very, very elegant way to capture the name of the company who made this Looking East fountain pen. Let's check out the barrel of the fountain pen. The barrel starts to pick up from this point right here, from this fluted edge, and the barrel has the same motif, filigree motif, just like the cap of the fountain pen, showcasing this very nice repetitive squares design, and underneath we have that impressive chatoyant blue-black resin. The barrel doesn't pick up in girth or anything like this, it's the same girth, and right here it's going to stop and transition into the double reservoir power filler knob, which is this one right here. It has the same fluted design like the rest of the edges of this fountain pen. This is a very, very nice way because it's also grippy. When you unscrew it, you're gonna be held by this fluted design. And if we would to draw a parallel towards the Rolex Datejust fluted bezel, that fluting is actually a way to just simply screw in that sapphire a little bit more tight, making the overall waterproofness of the watch to be better. Visconti is known for their trademark double reservoir power filler. For those of you who don't know, this is a vacuum filling system. While the piston is traveling down, behind it we have vacuum. In this time you would have the fountain pen with the nib submerged in ink, and around this level is the perfect one. Then you go all the way down like this, then ink starts to travel through the feeder into the barrel of the fountain pen around this level right here. The double reservoir part, it's actually a feature that allows you to trap or seal the ink behind the piston. If you hold the fountain pen like this, then you would take all of the ink behind the piston, then you would seal it behind the piston, allowing you to take this writing instrument with you on a pressurized environment like the cabin of a plane without risking this fountain pen burping ink and in the process ruining your favorite shirt. And finial, on it we have the limited edition number of this fountain pen. In this case it's 175 out of 188. Considering that some of the luxury writing instruments manufacturers are doing limited editions composed of thousands of fountain pens, 188 fountain pens are not that much. This is not postable, so if you try to post this fountain pen, it's not going to post. Not that you would need to post such a fountain pen because it's quite heavy. This fountain pen has a pricing of 2,400 euros including taxes, and excluding taxes is 2,016 euro. This is not a cheap writing instrument. It's super expensive at 2,400 euros. But if you ask me, this value is visible because first of all, this is work done on a precious metal like sterling silver, demands a lot of time, a lot of precision, and a lot of machine time. Each individual part must be loaded into a machine, and to allow time for that machine to cut out each individual part, then you would need to polish each surface, and as you can clearly see, Visconti didn't cut corners. Each individual piece of this fountain pen is crafted with a very high level of skills, craftsmanship, and attention to details. Fluted designs right here, everything is done super polished. The pen doesn't snag, doesn't catch, a very well thought and executed design. In reality, fountain pens that I've tried are beautiful, interesting, but you will see that it's rough, it's catching all over the place, and it snags on your favorite shirt. And just to show you, if you would take something like this, if you would go like this into a design which is not executed to perfection and doesn't have pretty much individual time in polishing each and every part by hand, you wouldn't be able to just simply having it like this going up and down, because it will snag, rip apart such a polishing cloth. This is why I think that the 2,400 euros pricing, it's actually a fair price for what you can get from such a writing instrument. Now let me showcase some of the size and weight, and then we're going to move into a writing sample, and in the end we're going to conclude everything in some personal opinions. Kept like this, the fountain pen measures 160 millimeters. Uncapped in writing position is going to measure 145 millimeters. The total weight of the fountain pen fully inked and capped is 86 grams, and uncapped in writing position it's 65 grams. This is looking east next to a Visconti watermark, a Visconti Speakeasy, and a Visconti Bronze Age Homo sapiens. The same lineup, uncapped, the looking east, it's both thick and a little bit more longer than pretty much anything from the Visconti lineup in this picture. By having a look at this fountain pen side by side, you can very quickly see and understand that the size and the weight and the overall elegance of this fountain pen makes it to be a high-end luxury writing instrument. This is not something that you would throw in your bag as a workhorse fountain pen to take with you outside in a not controlled environment. This is something that you indulge into using, and you indulge into the experience of writing with this fountain pen in a controlled environment. At the end of the day, you just simply pour in your favorite beverage. At the end of the day, you take this fountain pen out, you ink it, you put it to the page, and you simply indulge into the experience of using such a luxurious writing instrument. Now let's have a look how the writing experience is with this 18-karat gold nib. I'm not going to spoil the surprise for the next owner of this fountain pen, so I'm only going to dip it in some ink, and let's have a look. We have pen Visconti looking east. We have the nib, 18-karat gold, and this is a medium. We have ink, diamine, jet black. This is something that I love to use. Paper, Tomoe River paper, 52 GSM. Now let's have a look at the wetness, just to give you a little bit of perspective. This is what you get stock from every single Visconti fountain pen, a moderate wet ink flow. Now let's have a look at some normal figure of eights, and this is a skinny medium. In my opinion, this is something with this new 18-karat gold nibs from Visconti more and more visible. They are a little bit more true to the size. Flex, please don't press on these nibs. They do have a little bit of give, but this is not line variation, and it will never be line variation. If you want something flexy, go ahead, just simply have something with flex, but this is not with flex and shouldn't be treated as a flex nib, because you can spring it and it's going to be a lot more expensive than purchasing a flex fountain pen. Now for the famous sentence, the one that solves every single problem of a nib. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. What can I say about this nib is the fact that this nib is very precise, it's very delicate, it's very beautiful, it has some feedback, this is not unpleasant. I'm the type of person that I adore, but in the past I was like super into having a super smooth nib. As you develop your taste, you will see that you will gradually like more finer nibs with a little bit of feedback that can provide you the vibration, the sensation of writing, and this is perfectly spot on, offering you that feedback, that pleasant experience that you have when writing with a fountain pen, with a nib fountain pen. I don't find any single problem with this nib. It doesn't have any hard starts, any skipping, nothing whatsoever. The nib performs wonderful. Let's conclude everything in some personal opinions regarding this impressive fountain pen. Although I turned it back into red, I think it's destiny because this was like blue a few moments ago. I just touched my remote. Personal opinions. First of all, let me tell you that if I would be the person who designed this fountain pen, I would pick a different color scheme. And for example, I would go with silver, leaving it with a palladium coating on top, not rose gold. And as a color for the resin, which is underneath, I would have picked red. Maybe this is a touch more into the Asian culture, architecture, and the choice of colors. This is just me personal taste of myself. Anyway, I can see that Visconti has leaned on elegance and more contemporary approach, more modern approach to this design, and I can understand why they picked rose gold as a trim and also dark blue as a color underneath for the resin. This is not a super ADC fountain pen, so if you intend to use this fountain pen just throwing it into a bag and taking it with you, I would say this is not for you, because this is very intricate, it's very expensive, it's very delicate. This work on sterling silver, it's something that you wouldn't want to ruin. So if you intend to use this fountain pen, consider having it just like an experience. It's not something that you would throw in, just forgot about it. No, this is something that you treat yourself with. You have to understand that this is not a postable fountain pen, and the cap is only 20 grams, so it's very light. The main weight of this fountain pen, it's its body. If you see this image right here, this is weighing 65 grams. It's a lot. Believe me, this is not something that you would use for many hours, extended writing periods. If it was me using this fountain pen, from the get-going, I would have choose to have on it something like a broad or stub nib, to have this fountain pen, to delight myself with the experience of having this fountain pen for signatures, for writing down a few of my thoughts, to just simply have a more thick line, because this is a very heavy fountain pen, which I wouldn't use with a extra fine point to write down a few things on a narrow paper. No, I would have taken the best paper, I would have taken the more expressive color for the ink. It would be a whole experience writing with this fountain pen. So take this into consideration. This is not something that you would throw into a bag and forget about it. And this is reflected also by the work and the pricing for this fountain pen. Pretty much, this is the two things that I kept for my personal opinions. Let me know if you have any other questions or any other suggestions regarding this fountain pen. Use the comment section down below and let me know. I hope this video was informative and it was put together as it should. Let me know this in the comment section down below. Also down below, if you're looking for such a writing instrument, you can have it at Penventure. Just scroll down and you will find the links for this fountain pen. We only have one in our inventory. It's available right now as we speak. Let me know this and I'll be more than happy to help you out with this pen purchase. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. This will help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm and everything. Don't forget to support the growth of the Penventure YouTube channel by subscribing. If you're not subscribed, it's very easy. Just click there, turn the notification bell on, and you will be notified whenever we have new content. Speaking about content, if you want to continue watching my previous videos, I'm gonna leave you this right here. You can click and enjoy. As always, I'm your host, Amy from Penventure. I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care, stay safe, bye-bye.